Thunder versus Valera.
Hey folks, it's Kikoskia here with some more Hearthstone, and I have a question for you. What if you build your deck around tech cards completely? The answer is, you end up with this wild Reno tech card priest deck. Is it any good? It has some success, and it sometimes fails spectacularly. And just in case you get faced with a mill rogue, you have Archbishop Benedictus to get you more cards. I don't know what my opponent is, aside from being a rogue. We'll find out from this first card. You're tempted to play something. This deck literally is full of tech things. Hello.
Blessings to you.
We can see that our opponent has an SI7 agent. This card is good at defeating 2 minions that have very low attack and health. This card is great for stealing more powerful minions. This one's great against mill rogues. This one's great if your opponent just has something really big that you want to steal. And Chameleos is really good at not only showing what your opponent has, but potentially grabbing something from their hand that'll really help you. And there's Reno Jackson. The ultimate, well, I'm being very quickly destroyed by a really, really aggressive deck. This will heal me up. It's also not a bad minion. Now, you're just going to hit me, and I know that you have SI7 agent and Cold Blood. And I still know that you have an SI7 agent. I'm still going to heal. If this is a mill rogue, I may be in some trouble, because I may lose a fair amount of things, but I still have Reno Jackson, and I still have Archbishop Benedictus.
Blood and blood.
Dread Corsair. Alright, it's not a bad play. And that's it, and you have an Assassinate. Alright, I think right now, coining out the Harrison Jones is a good plan. Gives me a 5/4, gives me 2 cards, and one of those is Lord Walker Cho, and the other is the Black Knight. When I said that this deck is full of tech cards, I meant it. Practically everything is a tech card in some form or another. The card that is the least tech-orientated is Kazakus, but Kazakus in itself can create tech spells that will help you prevail. So I put it in my deck. Plus, if you have Reno Jackson, you might as well also have Kazakus. Now, I know my opponent has an Assassinate. I'm just curious as to if my opponent is going to play the Assassinate this turn. It's sort of tempting. That is a 5/4. Trades quite well into Prep and... Is it Prep Assassinate you're going to do? Prep Cold Blood? Alright, now it's a 7/3. And then you're going to Assassinate. Nope, you're going to SI Agent. Then you're going to Hero Power and Hit Face? Yes! An aggressive play! Now, I don't have the best answer to it, because I don't have the Assassinate available right now. But I'll play a Curious Glimmerroot to see what I can steal. Do you have Sprint, or do you have Myra's Unstable Element? You don't have Pit Snake. If I pick the wrong choice here, I get revealed what is the right choice, and I don't get it. I'm gonna guess you have Sprint. I was right, you have Sprint. I'm gonna trade here. And I need to play something. So you know what?
Jade Serpent.
Lord Walker Cho. Lord Walker Cho isn't a minion that many opponents see. They typically take one look at Lord Walker Cho and either kill it or they ignore it. Ignoring it actually isn't so bad for me because I have quite a lot of minions in my hand. South Sea Deckhand. You're going to trade into it, which means that Lord Walker Cho managed to effectively heal me for 5. Pretty good. I think Sylvanas Windrunner is my next port of call. Ooh, you have a mind control tech. Or I could Madame Lazul. Madame Lazul is probably better for later.
I have no
For now, Sylvanas Windrunner. There was a brief moment, and then another one where my opponent has highlighted the card going, what does this do? This is a problem. You have that Assassinate. If you use it now, you'll give me a 2-1. And Madame Razul is a new card. Battlecry, discover a copy of a card in your opponent's hand. It lets me see 3 of the cards that my opponent has and pick one of them. It gives me loads of information and... oh, there is a trade. Are you going to spend 5 mana assassinating? You're just going to sprint. Okay, that gives me a lot more choices when it comes to Madame Razul. And there's a deadly poison, not very useful. Let's see what you have. That Assassinate is pretty good. I'll take it. And I think I will play the Mind Control tech, knowing that my opponent has a Mind Control tech in hand. And 9 cards, I might add. One card I did think about putting in this was the Clockwork Giant. There is a backstab for 3/2. The Clockwork Giant becomes cheaper the more cards your opponent has in their hand. Goblin Sapper was also another choice. This is a deck that I've been playing with a lot in Standard and Wild in one form or another. There is a Fan of Knives. This is the Wild version that ooh, you're going to trade into Sylvanas here. That was a lot of resources spent defeating Sylvanas. And an SI agent. That's fine. Now I know you've got lots of things for a weapon. Ooh, there's that Assassinate. Can't play that right now. Instead, I'll just play the Chief Inspector, which is great for dealing with secrets, and heal. If my opponent tries to wear me down quickly, I have Reno Jackson to regain a footing. I will play Archbishop Benedictus after I've played Reno Jackson, and get more cards. Now I think we're going to see the Deadly Poison. I do have an Acidic Swampoos in this deck as well. 2 ways to deal with weapons. Are we going to see the oil that gives... nope, there's Deadly Poison. So now it's a 3/2 weapon.
Blood and blood.
Dread Corsair. We can deal with the Dread Corsair.
My eyes.
Earthen Ring Farseer. Alright, now I only have 1 Mind Control tech. I only have 1 of every card. There's that Assassinate again. I feel like dealing with this. It is gone now. And I have a 4/5 in play. Might want to play the Skulking Geist, but then again it's probably only going to hit some of my cards instead of my opponent's cards. Now he can trade with the board and his weapon to get rid of the 4/5. But so far I'm doing pretty well. My opponent doesn't have many cards though, so there's the Swampoos. Still haven't found anything to use the Potion of Madness on yet. I may find something that is worth... nope, just going face. Okay, you're just going face. Ooh, Kazakus. Right, let's pick a superior potion. 10 cost spell. I want to... tricky. I want to freeze 3 random minions and deal 6 damage to all minions. A little bit redundant, but it's a nice board clear. And I'm going to trade there. I'm not done yet, though. I'm not done yet. I'm also going to play the Skulking Geist. Didn't hit any of... oh no, I hit his Deadly Poison. I forgot that he had one of those. I hit 2 of my cards, including the potion there, which is actually not bad because it clears some space in my hand for Thought Steal. There aren't many cards in my opponent's deck. Fan of Knives deals 1 point to everything. Blade Flurry! Aha! There goes the Blade Flurry. And... trade. Okay. and Dagger Mastery to hit me in the face for another one. Another Assassinate turn there. I think I'm going to Thought Steal. Ooh, Eviscerate. That's not bad. I think I will just play the Cabal Shadow Priest. My opponent only has 8 cards left, 5 in the hand. And Sprint's not going to be great, unless I get an opportunity to play Archbishop Benedictus, which I may do this next turn. Because I could prep, Eviscerate, Bloodsail Corsair, and hitting the face. Okay. Okay. Mind games. Well, let's see what you have left. Leroy! That's pretty good. That's really good. In fact, I now know that you have Leroy, so I'm just going to heal up to full. And then Eviscerate this, so that I can hit you for 10. Since I know you're going to be really aggressive, I think I should be really aggressive. Also, that tells me that you don't yet have Leroy in hand, because Mind Games draws things from your opponent's deck. It's a pretty aggressive board, plus if he decides to do something, he's probably going to Assassinate here. There's Assassinate number 1. Assassinate number 2. Sat on the 4/5 and hit face. Now it's time to get a copy of what remains in your deck. You have another sap. Time to get this. Let's hope I get that Leroy again. Now my deck has 17 cards, and you don't have that anymore. Positioning there for Betrayal wasn't great. Should have really placed the 3-2 in between, then my 4-6 would have survived. Have you drawn Leroy? Have you drawn Lethal? You may have done. You may not have. Eviscerate. For 2. Deals with 6 damage. Sap? Sap only delays the inevitable here. Because you're going to hit me in the face. Which puts me down to 28. And then I'm going to get another 6 cards. And then heal. Putting you down to 5. The Blood Knight is something from my deck. It's great for when you encounter people that play lots of Divine Shields. Paladins especially. Right, what is your play? Captain Greenskin? Get a 2-2 weapon. You're gonna hit that. Putting you down to 2. Assassinate? No. Weapon up. And that's it. Well played. That was a good match. I could see what my opponent was going for there, slowly whittling me down and trying to defeat me through attrition and then finish me off with Leroy, but it wasn't to be. I just managed to keep my health pretty good, and my tech choices really helped out there, especially getting all those cards earlier on with Harrison. That said, I wouldn't have SI'd the Harrison. I'd have SI'd my face.
Tyrande versus Rexa.
Now here comes a Hunter. Hunters can be rather aggressive. Do I pick Tinkmaster over Spark? Probably not. Do I keep Dirty Rat? Yes. Mind Visions is really good for me to determine just what's in his hand for if I want to play Dirty Rat the next turn. This could be interesting. If I see lots of spells in his hand, then Dirty Rat's a pretty good choice. Ooh!
Blessings to you.
Zul'jin! Right! That tells me that Mind Games isn't going to be very useful here. Because he's going to be playing lots of spells. Or minions as well! Okay! He's playing a kind of deck that I have, which is a Zul'jin deck with minions, so this is potentially dangerous, but it's my best play.
I wonder what this does.
Aha! I got one of the activators for his death rattles. That's a pretty good minion to pull out. He's going to steady shot here. Look at my 2/6. And I think I'll get rid of the nastier thing here. And curious Glimmerroot to see what you have now. Death rattles. Good chance you have Unleash the Hounds. Yes. Could have also had the Cybertech chip there, considering the Death Rattle activator, but Unleash the Hounds is just a generally better card. The fact that I'm seeing minions means that this could be useful. This could be very useful. I'm going to play this first. Ooh! That's really good. That's a really good thing. And I'm actually going to trade here. I want the, that there and this here, so that he has to trade, and then I can then play Lotheb on this board. Zul'jin's going to be really good if I get more spells. I didn't want the, ooh, there is a Spider Bomb. Now if I leave the Spider Bomb... Okay! Curious decision there. Alright. I'll make the trade. And then I'll Lotheb. Lotheb is just a good, solid card. 5/5 for 5, enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. If he has any sort of spell-based removal, he's stumped for using it. Look what it forced him to do. It forced him to hero power on turn 5, which gives me a significant advantage. I can then play these minions. Not the best positioning for explosive shot, which he might have. That's the second time I've done that. Not positioning well for certain things, but then again, it's also good positioning for other spells. He's tracking. I know he has Zul'jin. I know he has Zul'jin, so I actually want to play Unleash the Hounds if I can. He's tracking twice, which will actually, when he Zul'jins, thin his deck by 4 cards. And he's just hero powering. Okay, there's Reno. I have no need to play anything right now, so I'm just going to hit you for 9 and heal. Don't want to play a 4th minion, just in case there is a mind control tech. Crushing Walls, iffy. Mechanical Whelp. I'm sorry. I was ready for this instance. That is mine now. You take another 9 points of damage. And that's it! He was relying on that Death Rattle to give him a big minion, using, say, the Fireworks tech to get some more of them out, and I stole it! That was a good example of tech choices being pivotal to victory there. Absolutely pivotal. I mean, I'm going to show you now in my collection just how many tech cards there are in there. There are absolutely loads of them. 30 cards! All of which are tech choices for one situation or another. I even have Embrace Darkness, which is like Mind Control, but it takes a turn to get ready. I had a very funny thing happen with that once. With someone, I Embraced Darkness on a minion, and then he decided to use Vivid Nightmares to make multiple copies of that minion. The caveat is those copies keep all of the buffs and debuffs that are on them, including Embrace Darkness. So, when my opponent's turn ended, I got all of the minions, including the copies. My opponent wasn't very happy about that. Also, should probably disenchant those golden cards that I got that are duplicates from the end of the month. But suffice to say, this pretty much works to counter every potential situation. Opponents playing lots of spells, Lorewalker Cho, and Lotheb. You don't have any cards? Nat Pagal. Lots of Divine Shields. Blood Knight. You have Potion of Madness, you have Shadow Madness, you have Cabal Shadow Priest, and Mind Control Tech to steal things, and just so many things that make copies of cards, and some things overlap, like Archbishop Benedictus and Reno Jackson, but sometimes you don't need Reno Jackson to win, you need lots of cards to win. Or you've already played Reno Jackson, like I did in the first match. It's just a thing that can sometimes infuriate opponents. And other times, you just get run over by a really aggressive deck. Or your opponent is even more control-y than the tech choices here are, and they just beat you through a slow, steady grind of your health and minions. But when you have a deck full of tech choices, that sort of thing can happen. And so, that was a few matches with my wild Reno Tech Priest. It's super fun to play, win or lose, and I didn't do too badly there at all. As for what will come next time, I think I know what deck I'm going to play. It's a deck that we saw a little bit of before the new year, the Year of the Dragon, but it has been altered slightly to fit into the new meta, and I don't think it does too badly. If it actually will do badly or not, I can't say. It's been a little bit since I've played it. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.